I left my straws. So good. And I have my sandwich. This is brown rice, lentil beans, veggie burger in a pita bread with some dressing. Delicious. Ah. Greetings and welcome to Giving Thanks. We are here. We are here, and I am thankful for this day. This is the day that righteousness has made. We're going to rejoice in this day because the Black woman, as I said before, hashtag protect the Black woman. This is important. We have an attack on the Black woman at Black universities. So if you look at my video, you saw that I, mentioned and commented on situations of not having access. And this is becoming, disruptive to the work at hand. And that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to distract and disrupt. So the theme today, something old, something new. We are never alone. We are never alone when we are alone with Jesus. But when we are alone by ourselves, we're going to feel alone. I just listened to a word, and the theme was keep your eye on Jesus. So I said, what does that mean? That means to keep your eye on the grace, the love, the kindness that represents in the fullness of joy, being joyful, thankful, and grateful for our existence. So I don't know, we have some AI bots that are coming into the live, and we are going to put these AI bots on a time, but like the video, subscribe to the channel, do all that good stuff, and retouch on, and subscribe to the channel, because we're going to get into it. We're going to get into something old, something new. That's our theme today. And the old is in the new revealed. Okay? The new is in the old concealed. Okay? With those words, one poet has attempted to explain the relationship between the two main sections of the Bible. So a friend of mine years ago said, but the New Testament contradicts the Old Testament, and the Old Testament contradicts. Why? So let's get into this. Questions. And we're going to get started with the word of the day. So let me get that going. The word of the day. And the word of the day today is brought to us. BK13, how are you? What's your question? Okay, what is your question? The word today is brought to us by James chapter 2, verse 18. James chapter 2, verse 18. And the James chapter 2, verse 18 is bringing in our word today. And our word today, guess what? It's not why you ugly, it's faith. I have faith that people are going to be kind. I have faith that that's the case. I have faith that I can remove and I can delete and I can put user on timeout and I can all that. We have an influx of, bots that are coming in. So we report people, in these kinds of platforms. So the word today is faith. And James is bringing our word today in. Thank you, James chapter 2, verse 18. I, by my works, will show my faith. So through works, you show your faith, because faith without works is nothing. Remember that, right? Faith without works is nothing. You can have all the faith in the world and be all, focused into, having faith, but then you don't have the works behind that. It's nothing. So it's important to have that faith. And let's get the word of the day.
It's the word of the day.
The word of the day today. Yes.
It's the word
faith.
Of the day.
James chapter 2, verse 18.
It's the word of the day. It's the word of the day. Word of the day. Word of the day.
So the word of the day, James chapter 2, verse 18 is bringing us our word of the day. And with this word of the day, living my faith deepens my awareness of God. That's righteousness, goodness, mercy, and love. So when I know I can find good in my life, then I will, no matter whether events appear good or bad. When I know every situation carries lessons from where I can learn, I will learn from every situation. Let me repeat that, because sometimes you got to repeat things 3 times for you to get that, right? When I know every situation carries lessons, so whatever you're in, whatever situation you're in, it carries a lesson that you can learn, and you're going to learn from every situation. When you know being of service will improve life for others, discover life fuller and enriched. When I know in the power of gratitude, I will always find things for which to be grateful. Power of gratitude. Okay. Now, my beliefs and actions show me where I am placing my faith. Also, give the strength to determine the quality of my life. Thank you for liking the video and for tuning in. I focus on finding the good in all things. I make positive, empowering choices and surround myself with people and things that inspire and excite me. I know righteousness, that's God, right, is in everything and everyone. And I find the presence of righteousness everywhere. This is the most powerful way I live my faith. And oftentimes, as I preface this video, people are denied access. People are denied or they are oppressed within situations of life, right? We live in a time where the Black woman is being attacked. That's what's happening. Black presidents of universities, HBCUs, wherever it may be, and they're Black and they're in leadership roles, they're going to be attacked. This is what is happening. And it signals the call for everyone out there who are not Black to support and to be powerfully not just allies to those who are being oppressed, but be supporters of them and their causes. Um, it's easy to speak of parking in the back and walking around to the front. You know, some people may want to have a key card that they can swipe the back door and get in and make it easier for them to come into their offices. But the circumstances and the environment we are in does not support the Black woman and does not give that alleviation of stress to the Black woman. The Black woman has to carry the load, and we're carrying the load for everyone else. Oftentimes that's the case. So in our giving thanks today, we have our word faith. And faith is brought to us by James chapter 2, verse 18. I love that. And the verse today, let's get the verse today up and going.
Verse.
Because the verse today
Verse of the day
is coming from Psalm 63, verse 1.
of the day. Verse of the day.
Verse of the day from Psalm 63, verse 1. You, God, are my God. Earnestly I seek you. I thirst for you. My full being longs for you. In a dry, racist, white supremacist country and parched land, I added that part, where there is no water. Selah and Selah again. Amen. I lost some folks there. But yes, Psalm 63, verse 1. You got to earnestly, and I have to earnestly seek. When this situation was going on, I should have just focused and earnestly sought after righteousness and ignored all of this crap of ignorance of, okay, you're not seeing the point of having access because you have access. You're white, you have access in the world that we live in. So the verse of the day gives us and gives me specifically something to stand on, okay? Because there is a God that sits high and looks low, and everything is working together for our good. Everything is working together for our good. That's just what's happening. And when you know that there is a God, that's where you're going to stand in righteousness. So we have our word today, faith. And works. What is the works behind that? Choosing kindness. That's a work. And faith without works is nothing. So we have to have the works. The verse today, thank you, Psalm 63, verse 1. For reinforcing that our works are not in vain. Our good works that we do doesn't go unnoticed by someone that sits high and looks low. The world may not notice. The world may try to bring you down, tear you apart, talk about you missed a quotation in your dissertation and you didn't put a quotation, so now they're going to get you for play. They want to get you for all these things, right? Because of that, and as the word today, faith, brings us to knowledge about living in that through the works, as James chapter 2, verse 18, I by my works will show my faith. So when they come attack you, talk about your degrees, look at my degrees, talk about your dissertation, there's no, that you missed a quotation, you missed a period, you missed a this, you missed a that. That's why I'm so hard on my students when it comes to writing in, APA format. So it's important because they're going to, the society we live in was not created for people of my skin color. Okay, that's just the bottom line. And because of that, we have a dominating society that breeds others who want to dominate. Okay, so this is what happens. And thank you for joining. We are out of time. The Bible challenge for October 7th today, we have, let me move that water. We have something old, something new. And the Old Testament prophets provided hundreds of details about the coming Messiah, right? Where he would be born, how he would be born, how he would live, how he would die, what would be accomplished, all these things. Now, as you read the book of Matthew, because we're in the book of Matthew, you have some homework. Hi, Elsu, wishing wellness to all life. Thanks for joining. You will see predictions that were hidden in the Old Testament revealed in the New. So certain things that were hidden in the Old is revealed in the New. So we're moving into this Bible challenge, and we're almost done with the Bible challenge because we are going into December. We started this in January. So now we're in October, where half the challenge is almost over. So if you are just joining the challenge, thanks for liking the video. If you are joining the challenge, you can, scoot on in, have a sit down next to me, and let's, look at the book of Matthew. For today, though, Matthew is a Jewish tax collector, okay? He writes to a Jewish audience presenting Jesus as the promised king of the Jews. As with any king, the king's genealogy, upbringing, and demeanor come under intense scrutiny, okay, to determine whether that king has the qualifications to be king, okay? Through word and works, through miracle and message, Jesus validates his credentials, okay? As I said, the black woman is being under attack. Dissertations. Did you put a quotation in when you're referencing someone? Did you put a quotation in there, or you missed a quotation? And they're going after people's dissertations, especially black women who are presidents of universities. This is what's happening. We saw the president of Harvard, attacked. We're seeing the president of different universities, HBCUs in Maryland being attacked. However, we see that the validation of credentials setting the stage for the dramatic finale of the earthly life and mission of Jesus. And it wasn't over because the disciples have been left to carry on, and keep on with the righteousness, carry on with the goodness and mercy and love. So look up, find the last verse in the Old Testament and write its reference here. So now find the first verse in the New Testament, write its reference here. So it's talking about looking at the first verse in the Old Testament and the first in the New. That's your homework. Look at the first verse in the Old Testament and look at the first verse in the New Testament. How far apart are those two verses in your Bible in terms of inches? The answer may be as short as the thickness of one or two sheets of paper. However, in terms of time, between Malachi 4:6 and Matthew 1:1, there is an intermission of no less than 400 years. 4 long centuries come and go before the silence that begins with the final verse of Malachi is broken through the first verse of Matthew. Galatians 4:4. Thanks so much for liking the video, for tuning in. Galatians 4:4. Tell us why the long intermission was necessary between the close of the Old Testament and the opening of the New Testament. However, when the set time had fully come, God sent the one, his son, as a pregnant woman awaiting the precise moment when her child is due to enter the world. So God was awaiting the precise moment when the world was uniquely prepared for the coming of his son. When the good news of the coming was to spread quickly around the world. Remember, during this time, Herod wanted to kill all the male babies that were born, infanticide. They were into infanticide even back then. So it spread quickly. There had to be a language common to all, and it was called Koine Greek. When the good news of the coming was to be carried to the farthest corners of the known world, there had to be an extensive network of roads. As the Underground Railroads, there were underground passages here in the eastern shore of Maryland, right? Underground network. And the Roman legions had seen to that. Okay. Now, let's look ahead. We looked in the past, we looked up, we're looking ahead now. This is the reflection and worship for today, October 7th, in the Daily Word, in the Daily Bible Walk. Walk with the Daily Bible. What's the title of this? The Daily Walk Bible. My daughter gave me this book. So let's look ahead. When Jesus were walking the earth in bodily form today, instead of in the first century AD, just think what a stir Jesus' presence would create, right? Imagine how many television cameras would follow Jesus' every move. How many talk shows would clamor for interviews? The crowds that would shadow Jesus every step. However, God knew that the perfect moment for his son to enter human history was not the 21st century, but the first. As you keep on reading about Jesus' encounters with men and women, boys and girls, don't overlook the fact that today Jesus longs to welcome all who will come to righteousness in childlike faith, right? Jesus' arms are open. So as you go through your day today, remember our verse of the day, Psalm 63 verse 1. You, God, are my God. Earnestly I seek you. I thirst for you. My full being longs for you. All of this, right? In a dry and parched land where there is no replenishing. Okay, it's just oppression, right? There's no how do you say respite. It's oppressive. It's vampirism of the highest of the heights, sucking the blood of people, healthcare, education, student loans, all of this, sucking people financially. Not good. So we have something old, something new. With the old, that your homework is what? To find the last verse in the Old Testament. Find the last verse in the Old Testament and find the first verse in the New. Okay, remember the book of Malachi is the ending of the Old Testament. I'm learning this too. I didn't know that. I mean, I had this in Sunday school and catechism, but you forget when I don't remember all the books of the Bible, and we had a song with it and everything. And it's good to know because you're going to need to have something to stand on, and this is what you stand on. That's why I always use the end of this live is to stand in love. Do not fall, because Babylon has fallen. As you see, they're closed. Federal government, Babylon is falling. So have a blessed day, everyone. Remember, stand in love, don't fall in it, and you will be fine, because I gotta get to work. I gotta get to work. I gotta get to work. I'm writing. We're gonna do pies to the moon. Have a blessed rest of your day, everybody. Take good care. Thank you, Elsu. Be well.